Now, chatting about meaningful health achievements across your lifetime, what would be a meaningful health achievement? It's really something to explore, and I think really relevant and important to think about. Because if you've ever stopped to think about what your greatest health achievement actually is, it may not even be something that you do think about. You're like, my greatest health achievement? Why would I? I don't know. I don't do anything for my health. Or maybe you're thinking, well, I've run a marathon. Maybe you've lost 10 kilos. Maybe you could say to yourself, you fit into that old pair of jeans. So, whatever it is, or maybe you could say to yourself, well, my greatest health achievement at the moment is I'm doing 10,000 steps a day. And they're all really great achievements and they're contributing to a lifetime of wellness. But I wonder, are they really the achievements that really matter in what's important to us in the long run? And a lot of the times I just feel that we're sort of focused on the wrong things when it comes to our health and, more importantly, what our health can do for us over the long term. Because, and also, it sort of helps to alleviate some of the intensity that we put and the worry that we put around trying to be perfect with our food and with our workouts, and sometimes focusing on things that probably bring more distress at any given time rather than focusing on the experiences of being healthy and what that will enable us to do as we get older. Because when we're 80 years old, looking back on our lives, I don't think we're going to say, the thing that I'm most proud of is that I reached my goal weight when I was 42. It's like, we need to move a little bit beyond that. And instead, I think we're all going to remember something a little bit different. And we might start to think about how we were able to get up and down on the floor to play with our grandkids, or that we were strong enough to continue to travel. We traveled the world because our bodies allowed us to, or we were fit enough and we prioritized our health and did a fun run in some country that you wanted to explore, and you had the opportunity to enjoy a run and be part of the community. So it's also about staying independent. It's also about keeping on moving. And I think we've accidentally started to measure the wrong things. And if we had played a little bit of a game to imagine if our life wasn't measured by our weight or how much we consumed or our macros or our PBs, our personal bests, imagine if we could measure our life by meaningful health achievements and things that are important to us, that enable us to live the type of life that we want to live and to experience life in the way that we want to, with the energy that we want to, the way that we feel day to day, and how happy we feel in our lives, and how capable we feel to cope with our lives. Because what I find is that regardless of what you've got going on in your life, our lives always do feel full. We're always feeling that little bit stretched, and there's ways that our health and our wellness can allow us to cope a lot better, but then enjoy more fully relaxation or just going out for a walk. So if you were to start to think about what are some of the things that would make the list, if you were to reflect back on in your life, and who did you want to be? What would you want to say about yourself? It might be that you've been strength training consistently for 20 years, like you looked after your strength, you're strong. That's something that I want to be able to say about myself. I wanted to say that I never stopped learning about my health. Like, I really got to know my body. I was able to look after my body at different stages of my life and understand what it needed when I was in my 20s, what it needed when I was having my children, what it needed as I got into my 60s and my 70s, and that I was able to look after myself in such a way that I was healthy enough to spend most of my time working on the projects that I wanted to do, that I was able to catch up with friends and do all the activities, get out in my garden or whatever it is that's important for you. And, things that will keep you feeling balanced and confident over the years as you get older. And I think these are the real achievements, and they're the achievements that continue to give back to us as we go in our lives. And the thing is that that consistency over time is what it really takes to get the most out of our wellness. But we don't get a medal for consistency. We can't, snap a picture of that or document. Well, I guess we can document consistency, but no one really gives you a pat on the back for being consistent. Nobody congratulates you for another year of looking after yourself, attending your appointments, attending to that hip that was complaining, and that you got the treatment and you did the strengthening exercises to rehabilitate that aspect of yourself. So those quiet, ordinary day-to-day choices are the ones that shape the quality of life the most, and the ones that we're going to reflect on and that we're proud of that we did. There are plenty of things that we spend energy on worrying about, which is the flip side, that probably don't deserve such a big place in our minds. And that, the things that tend to be irrelevant over time that I see a lot of is the exact number on the scales every morning. We can spend so much time worrying about that number, and that's something that I always encourage people to avoid doing, because the number of the scale shouldn't determine how you're going to behave, the choices that you're going to make, or the way that you feel about yourself and your life in that day. If you've missed one workout or a week over winter because you felt a little bit tired, it's not a big deal. Having dessert at a birthday party, not eating perfectly every single day. These are the things that really aren't that important. They're not your health story. That one day doesn't define your health, or that one meal, or that one missed workout. What matters is the pattern and what you keep coming back to, and who you become as a result of what you learn and the way that you look after yourself. And imagine you're celebrating. This is a really nice way to think of it. Imagine you're celebrating your 90th birthday. People aren't standing around saying, "Oh, remember when Mum lost those 8 kilos?" Because that's generally what we're, usually concerned about, is the 5 or the 10 or the, whatever kilos. They're probably going to think, they're going to reflect on, saying things like, "Oh, she was always walking. She never stopped walking the whole time. She was always so active. She inspired me, how she continued to travel. She was always cooking beautiful meals. She loved, feeding us and keeping us healthy. She was strong, like it was amazing." Or she was so switched on, or she's so switched on. We're talking about a birthday, not a funeral, my goodness. She had so much energy. And I think, she inspired us all, or he inspired us all, to make healthy choices, so that then the legacy of your level of wellness, your level of health, your drive, your energy goes through and impacts generations to come. I think that is the health legacy that I would love to continue beyond my years, and especially when people are reflecting on me on my 90th birthday, if I'm blessed with that opportunity. But maybe our health journey isn't really about some of those day-to-day things that we concern ourselves with, but if we think more about collecting experiences, going out for walks, if we're having adventures, if we are even if we're doing a fun run, the people that we meet along the way, I think they're all the really important things. And family holidays, playing with grandchildren, keeping up with them, all of that, feeling confident through our health and through our independence and through our strength as we get older. So instead of asking yourself, how much weight do I want to lose this year? Maybe try asking yourself, what do I want my body to still be able to do in 10 years, in 20 years, in 30 years' time? Because if you build your health around those type of questions, something really remarkable is going to happen, and you stop chasing the numbers, but you start to build a really extraordinary, healthy life. And that is something that I would like to get you to start thinking about, what's actually relevant and important to your health achievements in your life.